Hi guys, man like Stan here. Thank you for tuning in. So in this video, I'm going to try to make it quick. I want to talk about how I've been able to resolve the storage issue I always had with my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera. So I've had this camera now for about 4 years, and I bought it used, and it's amazing top quality camera. I actually made a movie uh, using this camera as one of my main cameras. But one of my biggest frustrations was around the battery life. It was practically the worst experience I've ever had. I had to buy some of this. I had to buy multiple Canon cameras. I think the cameras are the LPE LPE6N batteries. They're Canon batteries. It uses Canon batteries, and to get through just a few minutes or few hours of shoots, you would need a whole bunch of this guy. So these batteries are also very pricey. So I'm an aspiring filmmaker based in Lagos, Nigeria, and the quality access to the quality and affordable stuff might be very limited. So most of the camera batteries that we end up buying, I mean, for the price that we get, are usually really bad quality, and the batteries don't really last. And when you do see the batteries, the good quality batteries are usually very expensive. And again, I like to see myself as a hobbyist. I like to experiment. I like to play around. So I'm not really looking for the really expensive stuff. I have invested in a V-mount battery and a whole V-mount gear in the past, but that's for another camera. While it works for this camera, it was actually very bulky. And I was looking for ways to fix this battery issue, to fix my inability to actually record for long periods of time with this camera. As a matter of fact, I was so frustrated with this camera because of the poor battery life that I actually abandoned it for several years. And it was just this year, January 2026 to be precise, that I suddenly thought about it again. Let me give this one more shot because I'd experimented in the past. I bought a USB power bank and tried to connect it. And I just found out recently doing my research that the USB power bank that I got didn't have the right wattage. It was like 22.5 or even maybe even lower than that. I was trying to connect it to the USB port on this camera as well, because you can see the camera also has USB ports, which is actually for an external hard drive. But I assumed I could power it with that as well. And after several experiments and several purchase stuff that didn't work, I just abandoned the camera. So this year I brought it all up again. I went on YouTube, I did my research, and I finally nailed it. I finally nailed it. It's probably the most cost-effective way to, the most cost-effective way possible to get this camera working and shooting for long periods of time. Okay, so I just noticed I'm missing one of the main cables. 1 minute. Okay, so there are two major components for this solution that work. So you can see I've taken out this battery, I've removed it, and the camera pretty much has no battery. In the past, I've also got the dummy battery which I've connected to the Sony, the big Sony batteries, and experience has been unstable. Let me use that word as well, because again, you don't get a lot of good quality of that battery. But I wanted something that could record for hours on end, and I found out that you can actually do that with a power bank. On the internet, when I did my research, the Romos and the Bezos were the two power banks that were suggested. But after I read the spec of those power banks, I realized that okay, I don't need to go to the brand name. I don't need to go by brand name. LDNIO is a very popular high quality brand here in Nigeria. So I went out and got this power bank. And then one of the most important things when it comes to picking a power bank that would work with your Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K and obviously the 6K as well, and maybe other cameras, is to get a power bank that has a minimum of 65 watts. 65 watts. I mean, you get some that are 12, 15, 22, but I understand that those ones will not power it. And that's what I bought in the past. I never knew that in the past. So this time when I went to the store, I went out looking for 65 watts. They're not very easy to find, but ultimately I was able to find from this brand called LDNIO, and it wasn't very expensive. Here in Nigeria, it was about 40,000 naira, and decided to take a gamble. So beyond having that 65 watts capability, you also need to ensure that it has a Type-C port that is capable of delivering that 65 watts at 12 volts, 9 volts, and 3 amps. And again, you can see there's a dedicated port for the Type-C, which delivers that 35 volts that you're looking for, that 35 watts you're looking for. And you should see at the back, you can also see that that particular port is the only port here that will also deliver the 9 or 12 volts at 3 amps that is required to power this device. So when I saw all this, I was super excited. I mean, nobody recommended this particular battery online, so it was me just taking a gamble, and I just wanted to go home with something to test, and I got this. Now, the biggest mistake you would make is assuming that after you get this battery, after you got this power bank, what you need is a Type-C to Type-C, because logically you'd want to connect this in here, and you have a USB Type-C port in the camera as well, and you also want to plug that in there. That will not work, and that's one of the mistakes I made in the past. To get it to work, you would need this special cable, which is also very affordable. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get it in Nigeria, but I was able to find it. I think it's pronounced a Weipu cable that terminates into a Type-C. I'm going to show you the spec. It also delivers 12 volts in and out, and it's a Type-C. I don't know if you can see that clearly. Yep, and that's the ports, and terminates to a Type-C. You can get different variations of this cable. Some will terminate into what they call it, the V-mount port, but I didn't want the V-mount one. I wanted the Type-C one. So you find this, and with this cable and with this power bank, or any power bank rated at 65 watts, capable of doing 12 and 9 volts at 3 amps, you should be good. So let's give this guy a try. So you can see the camera is powered up. No battery in it, is totally off, and all I need to do is locate the ports at the side. You can see the port at the side there where it says 12 volts. That's where I'm going to be plugging this connector into. And what I like about this connector is that it actually clips in. It clips in. You can hear the clip, so it's firm. It's not something that's going to pull out very easily. Then you plug this into the 12 volts ports. Any other place you plug it will not work, from what I understand. You can see the battery, the power bank automatically powers up, and also has a light indicator, 92% charged. And just for extra measure, I also got this very affordable cheap phone holder. I had this at home, so I just picked it up, and I realized that I can just snap this over this and such, and I would also be able to mount this. So if you're someone that wanted that kind of setup, that's also very, very possible. But so there are firmer ways to do this, but again, a nice firm phone holder would hold this so that you have your kit set. Okay, everything is movable, so you can do your on and gone. But for now, I would just take this off, place it out there. This is on, and now for the moment of truth, to see if this actually powers on. I'm powering up now, and voila, it works. It's powered on. It's powered on, and what I like about it is, if you look at the top there, it actually indicates that it is AC. It's using AC power, and actually indicates the voltage as 11.6 volts, almost 12. And you can pretty much record for hours with this. I have tried to shoot with this, and I know that I had to switch off the camera at a point. At the point, I had it shooting for about 2 hours plus, and it was working perfectly. Yeah, just gonna see. Okay, everything here works well. Just gonna move the camera this way so you can see what I'm seeing. So you can see that everything works. You can see from my view, and it's still powered on. What I really like about this setup, like I said, is just that ability to record for hours on end and not having to worry about having like a bunch of these cameras or a bunch of these loads and loads of these batteries. I think I probably have about 6 of them. 4 of them probably don't work well anymore. Not having to invest in very expensive V-mount batteries that might not even be able to outperform this. I can very easily see myself investing about 2 or 3 of this and having them fully charged, and also having some backup cables as well. Again, this works perfectly. You can see it's still on. You can go into the menu. It's still powered on, working perfectly. And like I said, depending on your use case, you can have this mounted on the cage of the camera. Different setups, whatever it is that you like would work. And you can mount this on a tripod. You can mount this on a gimbal. You can hold this. You can have this handheld and go out and do your stuff. So that's it. I just wanted to show you this budget-friendly battery solution that should be easy for anybody to replicate. If you happen to have one of these cameras, you do not need to invest in one of those gold mount or V-mount batteries. A nice affordable power bank. I'm sure you'll probably be able to get some for as low as 20,000 or 25,000 naira, maybe 10,000 milliamps, which is more than sufficient for you to do. So this for me has pretty much revitalized my desire to shoot with this camera, and I intend to buy more of these batteries, and yeah, I intend to shoot more, make more use of this camera. In my next video, I would also I want to talk about storage. Also another hack I discovered for storage. So there are 2 big frustrations I always had with this camera. It was this, the challenge of battery, and the second one was always the issue with storage. How to get cost-effective storage that you could shoot for hours with. And I think I've also found the solution to that. So watch out for my next video. I'll show you how I hack that as well. Thank you for watching.